out. The problem with y'all women is you think we're bantering with you. The rhetoric I see coming from y'all, I now understand. Y'all are bantering because you want something odd. You want change. You want it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. You don't want boyfriends to stop. You want boyfriends to be better. You're stupid as fuck. I've never in my life, in school, in fucking life, ever used negative reinforcement on anybody. Finesse, 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 finesse is the name of the game. You guys are trying to. These dudes are serious. You guys are bantering. You still want misogyny. You still want the patriarchy. You want all these things. But you forget these niggas are serious. They're rejecting this thing full stop. So what you guys actually want is better men. You're fucking stupid. The people you want exist out there somewhere.
Yeah, he's totally right. You know, if you look at it in that light where you're just trying to use negative reinforcement to get men in line, and it's kind of in line with what we know how men and women communicate. Men can be direct, right? Because they also there's that underlying thought of physical force. They know if things go left, we can now move some furniture around. We can go outside. We can get to that level, but we're civilized, right? We leave that alone. We're not trying to do this Anton and Corey Holcomb thing. But we know with women, it's also it's innuendo, it's reputation destruction. It's never really direct. When we look at the key differences, sometimes when we look in the workforce, why men tend to get more raises, it's because they tend to fight for them. They tend to be more disagreeable. Women won't simply come out and say, "Yo, you flat out need to be better in this and this, this, this." It's an easier shift to say, "Listen, these are the problems. This is what it is. You guys, we don't want this anymore." Like, I kind of want you to get on program. You want to say, because if you can really consider of all the things they say that are terrible about men, what's the issue? If you're tired, if everyone is tired of dating, if everyone's done with the program, if everyone's over it, if the dating pool has so much piss on it, why are we all waiting in it together, women included? Listen, before we let them continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still going strong, still trying to do 2 a day, still trying to make some more tweaks and changes so we can improve the channel. One of those being to playing around with quality and see if this video looks better. So if it does, give me a thumbs up, let me know. All right, so let them continue to rock.
You just have to indulge in the right people. Y'all making grand, generalized on every fucking thing dudes do is not when I say it's not a flex, you guys think you're doing what you want and you think you're doing what will achieve your goal. If your goal is to create better people or get better people, shut the fuck, you're stupid. You're actively doing it in a stupid way. It's not.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Like, and to his credit, I've never really thought about it in that specific light. I get the way, the routine, the trying to go about it, you know, underhandedly, lead from the rear. I get that notion. That's understandable. But men are not subtle, right? Or they have to learn subtlety. We're as subtle as a brick through a window. So if you aren't direct with a lot of us in exactly what you're looking for, and in exactly what you want, in the manner in which you want it, we're not going to get it. That's why there's so much issue when women say, "Yo, I was showing my level of attraction to him. I was winking. I was looking at his direction." And men, we don't get any of that. When you try to, hit with innuendo, unless men have specifically trained themselves to be good at that, they picked up the skill, we don't get it. So in essence, when we don't get it, what we're more apt to listen to what you're saying and then take that. So if you want something from me, for example, or you're unhappy with something I did, going online and posting something to your story pertaining to me is not going to be the thing that makes any sense to me. Rather, conversation, that being direct, yeah, that makes more sense. I can get behind that. I can move to that. We don't get that. So when we hear it, right, and I think by and large, most men are good men, right? When we look at the people that are toxic, that are evil, that are doing all the wrong things, we know that's a small percentage. It's hyper inflated because that's all we talk about online. But most men are just going to say, "Look, all right, cool. I'm not playing. Right? We don't. The difference here. This is why I think there's such a big disconnect, because men do not get online in droves like women do and say, "I'm done. I'm quit." No, we silently pick up our ball and we go home. We silently just say, "Oh, there's another event. It's not for me. I'm good over here." That's how we end up opting out of so many of these things. That's why we end up being missing from so many things, because we've heard you, we've listened to you. And again, I say this on the channel all the time. It's a trailing effect. It's a trailing effect. It's a trailing effect. It may take 5, 10 years, but eventually there's enough of a movement of men just saying, I'm just going to leave you alone because that is what's safest. It's the same thing when women are complaining now, with the snowstorms, that I had to shovel. All these men that were trying to get at me, I cut them all off. Yeah. Unless you indicate that you want us for something, men would rather be cut off. Men would rather be called a bastard. Yo, where's the chivalry? Rather than run afoul of you by trying to make our affection known and it not be received the right way. So I'd rather you say you can curse me because I didn't help you put your bag in the overhead, rather than if I had asked you, hey, do you need assistance? And you give me the lecture, the spiel, all that. Cool. Lesson learned. We're going back, or we're retreating back to the place where we treat most men. If you need something as a man, I expect you to be able to open your mouth and communicate these things, instead of trying to use negative reinforcement to get me in line. We just don't move like that. We're going to see the first layer and we're going to say, okay, cool, I'm backing off. I'm backing off. You got it. Whatever it is, you got it. I'm going to leave you alone. It's better. It's safer for me to do the stuff over here. I can build, I can cultivate my peace. And I love that. I'm fine with that. You do what you got to do over here.
Our job is, again, it is your job to do stuff that you want done, you dumb fucks. If y'all are being serious, if y'all are actually being serious, I would say go for it. Go for it. Say what you want to do. Be free. You're not serious though. You're banter. This is not banter, you dumb. Do you know how many dudes are actually? I'm not. You know how many dudes are waiting for robots? And I'm saying it right here. You guys think you know what these people look like who are going to do the things you think you're going to be okay with. When the dudes you guys want reveal themselves to be the fucking robot wanting niggas, now you're going to be weird. Now you're going to be like, wait, figured out the
all right, let's substitute the robots for like password bros. When you want to say that the ones that you want, right? Because the common refrain is, it's these dudes that can't get any women, these dudes that don't have any money here. That's why they're going overseas to do their thing. Rather than, if you actually looked at it, you said, no, these are well-to-do men. These are the middle class, upper middle class that can afford to uproot their life and go elsewhere. It's not enough. It's not of a financial burden to them. They're the ones taking their resources and leaving the community that affects you more so than just, Jeremy working at Amazon, third shift at Amazon, who you like, he's got to save up 4 or 5 months to be able to go, to Thailand. No, it's the guy that can look and say, I got 4 or 5 days free. I'll just book a ticket for tomorrow. That's the guy with the resources that's leaving. That's the guy that's also listening to what you're saying and saying, okay, you want us to leave you alone. You need a dude that has all these things and I'm missing 2. All right, cool. Lesson learned. Hear you. We're treating you like men. We're not giving you that benefit of the soft doubt, of that feminine doubt that, well, maybe she means something else. When we hear it routinely again and again and again and again, we tend to treat you like adults and believe what you're saying. Not that you're saying this, but you actually want something else. It's too much of a logical inconsistency for us to constantly try to guess and try to assume that this is what you actually mean. It's only after we've established a relationship, we know each other, that I can get the nuances in some of these conversations that you're having, or the way you speak, the way you move. That's when you get that sort of grace. But on the outside, it's like we have representatives coming to the table and saying, this is what we're desirous of, this is what we want. And some of us are saying, yeah, a lot of our coalition, they're just not going to show up. I think he nailed it in saying, these are negative reinforcement to communicate with men isn't the thing. And I believe what he's saying is because what you also see now is so many other women, so many creators coming on and saying, yeah, no, I don't want to work. I did that thing. I said it. I believed it. And no, that's not what I wanted to do. Instead of looking and examining what I wanted from my own life, I listened to the societal drive. I listened to what we all should be doing. And I said that was my path. All the while, I thought it'd be great. They said it was going to be great. But when I arrived there, when I got the things, I didn't get everything actually what I wanted. I've got the successful career. I've got the money. I've got the house. I've got the dog. I've got all these things, but now I can't find the quality of man that I feel like as a deserve. Well, what is it that you wanted? Because you moved, you talked like this is what you wanted: the career, the dog, the house, that. But what you also, or probably really wanted, was a husband, a loving husband, a family, a legacy, things that you built. That's what you wanted. We don't give enough credence and understanding that once you walk down certain paths, others become harder and harder for you to actually return to. This is it's almost like, Mario Brothers, Nintendo, the side scroller. You keep going towards the right, you can't go back. If all intents and purposes, that's gone. It's eliminated from the universe. You got to keep moving forward and then see what decisions you can make from there. That's probably more realistic or more in line with how things really are. Listen, if you got anything else to say, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen right now, take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos, naturally. And if you listen to my voice at the end of all this, if you haven't subscribed, I think you should. We're trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.